to order. Time is 7:03. Public portion of the meeting begins. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the rights of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Business Administrative Board Secretary has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building, communicated to the Herald News, the Record, and filed with the clerk of the Borough of Hawthorne. Roll call.
Mr. Colijo?
Here.
Ms. Goff?
Here.
Mr. Palouse?
Here.
Mr. Reicher?
Here.
Ms. Sanford?
Here.
Mr. Tara?
Here.
Mr. Turco?
Here.
Mr. Doyle?
Please join us in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Meeting regulations. During each regular meeting, 2 opportunities are provided for citizens to ask questions and to make comments. During the first opportunity, early on the agenda, the meeting is open to the public for the purpose of addressing items listed for approval on this agenda only. The second opportunity occurs just prior to adjournment, when citizens may address any subject matter that is pertinent to and or directly related to the operation of the school district. Persons wishing to speak must, upon being recognized, rise, sign in, state their name, address, and subject matter. Comments and questions shall be addressed to the board president or the presiding officer and shall be limited to 5 minutes per person. The board may or may not respond to issues raised by members of the public at the time they are raised, but will provide a response if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Please note that the board will not respond to comments regarding students or board employees in light of the privacy rights held by those individuals. Moreover, the board discourages comments of such individuals and will not be responsible for such comments. Members of the public who choose to speak during this public session should carefully consider their comments, since they could be held personally liable for any statements they make. Finally, please note that in accordance with the district policy, the board will not officially comment or respond to any matter mentioned unless it can confirm that the matter has been first brought to the attention of the appropriate school personnel in an attempt to resolve the issue. Public be heard. Agenda items only. Seeing no one, approval of minutes for January 21st, 2020, both public and private. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Colijo?
Yes.
Ms. Goff?
Abstain.
Mr. Palouse?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford?
Yes.
Mr. Tara?
Yes.
Mr. Turco?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Correspondence, moving on to reports. Council Rep, the floor is yours.
Good evening. February is off to a great start for the students and faculty of Hawthorne High School. On January 26th, Heather Scott and Gabe Revitt gave an excellent performance in the Region 1 band concert. This is an auditioned-only group composed of the best high school musicians in northern New Jersey. As for the library, in preparation for renovations, the library is offering older books and duplicates for students and faculty to take home and enjoy. The Makerspace continues to offer many interesting workshops for students to get involved. Some activities of this month include an artist roundtable, book talks, exploration of the school's robots, and a how-to for creating your own personal website. Simply signing out a book in the month of February enters students into Valentine's Day candy raffles every week. On to sports. The boys and girls basketball teams both won their first round county games at home. Liam McAllister took second and Declan Smith took third in the county wrestling championship in their respective weight classes. For indoor track, Alexis Byfield won the 55-meter high hurdles in the county championship, and Jason Harmer had a personal best for the boys. For bowling, Amanda Madar took second in the high game and high score at the county championship for the girls and won all of the individual awards in the league. She also won the Vince Albrecht Girls Championship Tournament. The HHS cheerleaders also competed in their Just Cheer competition at Wayne Valley and took third place in the large school division. Mr. Hawthorne tickets are officially on sale. The Student Council's biggest fundraiser of the year will be on March 6th. Please don't miss the opportunity to see some of Hawthorne High School's finest fight, dance, and sing for the crown. The morning announcements are officially online again. Every morning, our broadcasting team, led by Mr. Small, live streams the show, informing students of sports updates and important reminders. All videos are available at the Bears Broadcasting channel on YouTube. The channel also includes the Bears Today series, which breaks down major events at Hawthorne High School each month through interviews of students and staff. The HHS Theater Department has begun its production of Beauty and the Beast. Cast, crew, and pit are all working together to create the classic Disney show for the community. That's all for this month's report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ava. Mr. Sparito, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Just a few announcements before we get to our Roosevelt students. Just want to let the board know that we conducted our kindergarten registration for September 2020 at the end of last week. Any parents who did not already register, you can still register at your school, the school that you are currently residing in. Right now our numbers are pretty close to where we've been at this time. I keep track every year of our numbers, and we're pretty consistent, you know, about where we were at this time over the last 4 years. We're within two students at Roosevelt. We're at 68 right now at Roosevelt, 21 right now at Washington, and 29 at Jefferson. And again, pretty close to where we've been at this point last year. We always get a few more even after kindergarten registration, so we'll continue to update you on those numbers. I did want to mention our Read Across America celebrations will be coming up later this month. I always look forward to our Read Across America celebrations, and I encourage parents to continue to look at our website, as the information will be available, I'm sure, through our website as well as through parent notification. I know I'll be reading, I'm scheduled to read at Washington School on February 26th, looking forward to that. But again, stay tuned to your school website as well as our school announcements for more information about Read Across America celebrations. I do want to remind the board that our annual Youth and Government Night is going to take place on March 4th this year. And for those who aren't aware, that is when our high school students partner with our council members in the Borough Council, and they run the council meeting. We have a similar event where we have students, our high school students, running the board meeting. We'll have our meeting in May, but the Youth and Government Night is on Wednesday, March 4th. So I encourage you to watch that. You can also watch that meeting. I want to mention something that's, I think is fantastic, and I want to congratulate all of our students and our art teachers as well. So every year, Passaic County runs a poster contest. This year they ran 2 similar type poster contests, and out of the people who competed, and it's all students throughout the county who participate in these poster contests. And there were 42 total students who were recognized in these 2 separate poster contests. Out of those 42, there were 13 students from Hawthorne who were recognized and either received first, second, or third place or honorable mention. So we had 13 out of 42 students who were recognized in this Passaic County contest. So I just want to congratulate all those students. I did post that information on our Facebook page, on our Instagram, on our Twitter page as well. So that information is available to you. But congratulations to all of those, all who participated, and of course all of those who were recognized. I also want to congratulate, as Ava did, our winter athletes. I know the season is not over, but I just want to say that we've had a very successful season, a lot of recognition for our student athletes. I know how much time they put in, and I appreciate their efforts throughout the winter season and the way they represent us. So I want to congratulate all of our winter athletes. Also want to mention Danielle Diascoli, who was recognized as the high school, recognized by the NJSIAA, which is the State Athletic Association, as the Hawthorne High School's 33rd recipient of the National Girls and Women in Sports Award. So Danielle Diascoli is our honoree this year. Congratulations to Danielle. I do want to put in a plug for Mr. Hawthorne. If you have not seen Mr. Hawthorne, I encourage you to go see it. It is on Friday, March 6th at Hawthorne High School. It is some of our finest young men competing in a competition to be crowned Mr. Hawthorne. It's a lot of fun. It's very entertaining. If you Google Mr. Hawthorne, there are some of the past competitions on YouTube. You can actually see what it's all about, but it's a lot of fun if you have a chance to get out to see Mr. Hawthorne at the beginning of March. And finally, before we get to our Roosevelt students, I do want to mention that tonight we'll be holding our second reading and approving a new policy that will allow tuition students or students from out of district to pay tuition to attend Hawthorne High School. We've had a number of people inquire, some from our neighboring towns, North Haledon being one of those towns, and we're anticipating that there will be some people who will take advantage of that opportunity. It will generate some revenue for the district, which is a good thing. But I just want to mention that, and if you know of anyone who may be interested, I know we have some people who attend St. Anthony's School in town who enjoy being part of Hawthorne and are interested in attending our high school as well. So we're going to be, after tonight, we're going to be posting all of our information on our district website, and you can inquire if anyone is interested. You can inquire through my office or just going on our website, and there'll be a whole packet of information for people who are not residents who may want to pay tuition. It will only be at Hawthorne High School, only at Hawthorne High School right now. All right? And with that said, I will turn it over to Mr. Pizakane and our Roosevelt students for their presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Brito. I would like to welcome the Board of Education and our families to Roosevelt School, to the February Board of Education meeting for the year 2020. As principal, I have the best part of my job, I guess you could say, or I have the luxury of experiencing each and every day the great things that our teachers do here, that our students do here, and you're going to see a small piece of that tonight. And before we get to our presentation, I do want to recognize our fantastic art teacher, Mrs. Haskup. Mrs. Haskup is the coordinator for the two clubs you're going to see tonight, the Young Artists and the Photo Fanatics. She also was instrumental in the Passaic County poster contest that Mr. Spirito mentioned. She is responsible for many of the great things you see around this building, during the concerts, obviously at the art show every year. And you know, she's not one of these people who likes to be in the spotlight. She does a lot of things behind the scene, but you know, she definitely deserves our praise and recognition and appreciation. So thank you, Mrs. Haskup. So you're going to learn about two clubs tonight. First, the Young Artists, and then the Photo Fanatics. And even though most of these students here are pretty loud on their own, it's not an insult. It's just if you're in 5th grade, you're loud. They are going to use a microphone just because it's fun.
Who are we? Young Artist members are 5th grade students who want more art in their day. We love to create and appreciate art. We typically meet during recess 1 to 2 times a week.
What have we been doing? Recently, we worked on a special project for you, but you have to wait till the end of to learn more. Jumbo art parts to decorate the halls for Valentine's Day. Leprechauns for an upcoming school-wide scavenger hunt, helping with art attacks, organization, and cleaning up. Optional weekly sketchbook assignments to advance skills. Designing banks made out of recycled coffee cans.
Upcoming projects. Concert, scenery, exploration of mediums. Drawing from real life, sculptures, and including 3D elements in art. Art show preparations and setups. Organization of art materials and displaying artwork in the halls.
Turn markers into energy. We collect any and all old markers. Bins are located in the main copy room and outside the art room.
When the bins are full, markers are counted and boxed. Crayola provides a prepaid shipping label and off they go to be transformed. Crayola keeps the markers out of landfills and turns the markers into clean fuel.
How do we impact the school? Contribute to minimizing our school's cardboard footprint. Create artwork, scenery for the concerts, improve the appearance for the halls, school-wide events. Provide an additional creative outlet for members, enhance skills, explore new mediums.
Okay, stop. We're going to do the Photo Fanatics now. Mustafa's going to start. Great.
Who are we? Photo Fanatics members are photo enthusiasts. We enjoy taking pictures and documenting the school's
Activities. What we do. Learning how to use cameras, create interesting photos, utilizing design elements, document activities for the yearbook and local newspapers, and create bulletin board scrapbooks for the students to enjoy. Clubs working together. Rough Rider Nation. School newspaper photos are included with articles and in the photo selection highlighting special activities and events at Roosevelt. Anti-bully crew. Creating a poster campaign about kindness and how to become a bucket filler. How do we impact the school? Build social skills when photographing subjects, documenting students, teachers, and school events, featured on bulletin boards, newspapers, and yearbooks.
Now a gift for you. Both clubs worked together to create this mug for you. The young artist created the letters to spell Hawthorne.
The photo fanatics took a picture of the bucket filler winners to appear on the mug.
Absolutely. Can you guys all get in front of this sign over there? One more picture. One more group picture, please.
I can agree with you on that.
Ready? My turn. Big cheesy smiles. Okay, now let's read up.
Thank you for that presentation. We're going to take a 10-minute recess. All right, guys, we're ready to go. So I just wanted to thank Mr. Paisakan and the Rough Riders for the presentation, the posters, and bugs. We're going to get spoiled, so thank you very much for that. Moving on with the agenda, Ms. Goff, curriculum and instruction, please.
Pursuant to the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Committee on Curriculum Instruction recommends the following resolutions. CI 1 on page 3, continued on to page 4, CI 4 through CI 7 on page 4, on page 13 of the addendum, CI 38 through CI 40. On behalf of the committee, I so move. Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Palouse?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford? Yes. Mr. Tara?
Yes.
Mr. Turco?
Yes with reservation on CI 40, yes on everything else.
Mr. Clavijo?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Ms. Goff, personnel?
The following resolutions are pursuant to the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. P8 through P20 on page 5, P21 through P27 on page 6, P41 through P43 on page 13 of the addendum, P44 through P46 on page 14 of the addendum. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
Any discussion? I just want to comment on, Mr. Ward is included as a retirement. Both of my kids have been fortunate, two out of my three kids have been fortunate enough to have him. Know the kind of caliber that he brings to the, to the district, and just want to wish him a happy retirement. Roll call.
Mr. Poulos?
Abstain from P18, yes to everything else?
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford? Yes. Mr. Tara?
Yes.
Mr. Turco?
Yes.
Mr. Clavijo?
Yes.
Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Thank you. Moving on, Finance and Administration. Pursuant to the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Committee on Finance and Administration recommends the following resolutions. On page 7, F 28 to 32. On page 8 and 9, 1 to 9. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford? Yes. Mr. Tara?
Yes.
Mr. Turco?
Yes.
Mr. Clavijo?
Yes.
Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Poulos?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Claims, Mr. Reicher.
Sure. In accordance with NJAC 6A:23-2: 11B, C3, and C4, I looked and examined all the bills. They are all in order. Recommended that the board approve the bills for the month of February 2020. I so move.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Sanford? Yes. Mr. Tara?
Yes.
Mr. Turco?
With reservation on vendor number 2875, yes on everything else.
Mr. Clavijo?
Yes.
Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Poulos?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?
Mr. Baloo's Buildings and Grounds, please.
Pursuant to the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, the Committee on Buildings and Grounds recommends the following resolutions. On page 9, BG 34, carry over to page 10, BG 35 and 36. And on the goldenrod, page 14, BG 47. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Tara?
Yes.
Mr. Turco?
With reservation on BG 35, yes on everything else.
Mr. Clavijo?
Yes.
Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Poulos?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford? Yes. Mr. Doyle?
Ms. Goff, policy, please.
Pursuant to the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Committee on Policy recommends the following resolutions. PO 37, which is a reminder, the second reading and adoption of the tuition paying pupils policy. On behalf of the committee, I so move.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Tara?
Yes.
Mr. Turco?
Yes.
Mr. Clavijo?
Yes.
Ms. Goff?
Yes.
Mr. Poulos?
Yes.
Mr. Reicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford? Yes. Mr. Doyle?
Thank you. Moving on to committee liaison reports. In regards to finance and administration, the committee met. We are in the process of formulating the budget. Julie's hard at work with that. The state is expected to come in with numbers February 27th. The committee will meet at that point. And after that, board will meet as a whole for a work session. I have nothing for NJSBA. Mr. Doyle's not here. Is there anything to reference?
Just quickly, I just want to let you know that we did meet again with the architect, with the appropriate staff for the rooms that we'll be renovating, which includes the culinary room, STEM lab, the media center at the middle school, and the science labs at the middle school. Those are all on the docket for this summer. So we had a second meeting. We had one meeting to talk about the plans for those rooms. We gave them some suggestions, recommendations. They came back. We had a second meeting just to finalize everything, make sure everything's in order. And now the next step is we're working on the bids to now go out to bid for those projects. I know the roofing projects are also true. They're going out to bid soon, correct? The two roofing projects we're referring to?
Yes. The boiler.
The boilers?
The boilers are in the newspaper Thursday.
Okay, so the boilers at Roosevelt and at Lincoln are in the paper Thursday, and then, the roofing projects will be next, and of course, then the classroom. So we're moving along. Our meeting was with the architect, and our project manager was there as well. So things are moving along.
Thank you, Mrs. Perito. Ms. Goff, curriculum instruction and policy, please.
The CNI committee met on February 4th at 5:30 p.m. The first order of business was just to get a brief update on the photo and art club presentation that we made this evening. Then we discussed grade 8 parent night. Mr. Sprito said it went very well. There is a presentation on the website. It is in the bottom center. You can't miss it. If you click it, it shows you everything that was shown that evening. About half of the students that had registered at that point and had brought parents with them, which is awesome because that's something new that we had tried and it seems to be working really well. Next, Ms. Trevona brought to our attention some updates for the New Jersey tiered system of supports. There was a meeting here last month that was very highly attended. It's one of probably the highest attended meetings I've ever seen, so that's awesome. The team gathered data and feedback from the parents, as well as presenting data and information to the parents. And through discussion, a basic information letter was generated and will be sent out to parents shortly. Parents are encouraged, if they have further questions, to reach out to the contact the classroom teacher. That should be the main point of contact. And additionally, as part of the NJTSS, also looking into tracking data on behaviors and looking into a possible character education curriculum such as responsive classroom going forward. Mrs. Trevona then shared the plans for Kiker Learning. He's the gentleman that comes from Google, amazing guy. Mr. Reicher and I attended his workshop last year at the library. We did book him for 5 days this year at the high school and booked him for 5 more days next year at both the high school and the middle school, 5 separate days for each. Those who attended this year will be eligible to take the Google Level 1 certification test, and those who attend again next year will then be able to take the Level 2 and possibly Level 3 test. Mrs. Trevona continued to speak to us, and this is about portfolios for students who have not met the graduation requirements. As many of you hopefully know, there is a menu of requirements that the state frequently changes, but if all else fails, the student can produce a portfolio. This evening we did approve to be able to oversee that, thankfully. We do have a number of seniors who have not met the current graduation requirements. Christine Weiner has worked with them to get that number down to 18 through reissuing several tests that we can offer. 12 need both math and language arts. There are 6 that need only math, 7 of which are special ed students. We are looking to possibly administer another round of the ASVAB in hopes of getting that number lower. Even if it's 1 or 2, we think it might be worth it. And the 2 teachers that will oversee the portfolios will be meeting with the students 2 times per week for a course of 8 weeks. And it will be starting soon so that they can get it in before the deadline. I did bring up some enrichment concerns to the committee, and we discussed just some general concerns and comments, and we are looking to get more information on the criteria for entrance, the curriculum being used, the number and relevance of field trips, and Ms. Trevona and Mr. Spreeder are both, it's an ongoing discussion that we will continue to talk about next. And lastly, we concluded with wonderful news that Jason Wood from town, what's the name of his business, Mr. Spreeder? Pandora Healing, a local business. He is continuing with his services starting on March 2nd, continuing through May 1st. We will once again be having him work with grades 1, 3, and 6. Those are the same grades he worked with last year, so it won't be a duplicate. Anybody who won't receive it again, and those seem to be good target classes. That is all. And policy did not meet again.
Thank you, Ms. Goff.
Just quickly, I just want to add one thing, and I did mention referendum, but it applies to one of the things Ms. Goff mentioned. with Kiker Learning. Obviously, a big reason for that additional training is our one-to-one rollout in middle school and high school. And I will tell you that Mr. Brislin has already received the quotes for our Chromebooks, as well as the cases that the students will be receiving, because they'll be getting a Chromebook. And in case everyone will get one. So that we're in the process of, that's moving along very well. And this Kiker Learning that Ms. Goff mentioned will assist in the integration of the Chromebooks in the classroom.
Thank you, Mrs. Friedel. Mr. Palouse, have CPAC PTOs, family engagement, and buildings and grounds.
Thank you. I'll start with, we didn't meet for family engagement. I just have two quick updates for F and CPAC. Again, mark your calendar, May 17th from 12 to 4 p.m. at the high school. There's going to be a food truck festival. We're looking for truck sponsors. There's a lot of different degrees of how you can sponsor. So families, or if you want to put anything up for your business, or personal things for your kids, you can sponsor a truck. I'll look into that. Either reach out to me through the high school, or Jennifer Doyle or Paula DeLuca with F. And moving on to CPAC, this is something I probably should have brought up about. They're looking to sponsor, possibly help out.
Project graduation.
Yeah, okay.
We're aware.
Okay, all right, we're before it.
Yes, we're aware. Thank
A
you.
little too late, but.
No, no worries.
Thank you for that. They're looking into sponsoring any student that would like to participate in project graduation that has a 504 or IEP. At this time, there's nobody eligible, but Mr. Picatello is looking into it, and they're going to cover the expense of, for that student and the para if anybody is eligible, which I think is a great idea, because it's nice to not have to leave somebody out because they can't go. So thank you for that. Their next meeting, CPAC is meeting on February 26th, 7 to 9 p.m. at the Lewis Bay Second Library. There's going to be two presenters that night. Regional Family Support Council from Council Number 2 will be speaking about their services and how families with children with developmental disabilities can benefit. Also, Janet Morales from ARC of NJ for Planning for Adult Life will also be speaking about transitional planning. Passaic County Parks have approved the application for the 5th annual CPAC Color Run Walk on May 30th, and we're still looking to reach out and schedule something with Mayor Goldberg to make sure that everything runs smooth that day. But again, that's the 5th annual CPAC Color Run and Walk. I walk May 30th. Put that on your calendars. And last but not least, the pull tab. We are less than 20 pounds away from the 650-pound goal that was set. So if anybody's still collecting, please drop off your pull tabs and help us meet that goal. That concludes my report for that. And buildings and grounds, again, was a short period between the last board meeting and the committee meeting. There was no changes, so we decided not to meet. So we'll have further updates next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Palouse. Ms. Sanford, legislative, please.
I do not have any updates at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Tataro, council liaison.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Vice President. Following are my notes from the February 5th council meeting pertaining to the Board of Education. Mayor Goldberg had a meeting with the postmaster and supervisor to set up quarterly meetings with the post office committee to address complaints and concerns by the community. And also, Mike Scarra was selected and sworn in as the library alternate board of trustee. Mike is also a library liaison to the council. I'd also like to congratulate Mike Scarra for being appointed as a Ward 3 councilman and filling the seat for the late Gary Sinning. We will all surely miss Mike's contributions to the Board of Education and his years of service as trustee and president. As such, we know he will be a great asset to the Hawthorne Council. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Turco. Moving on, public to be heard.
I guess it's no surprise that I am the liaison now to the board today.
That doesn't mean you have to get up to the mic.
And you do still have to sign in. Well, I was going to say something nice. I also want to congratulate Ava for your getting Cassie's down in the community, so I'm looking forward to going to see it. I wanted to ask Rick and also Anthony if there's any chance you can actually get me your reports. I'm jotting it down, but you know, if your reports would be the most crossover to the community, so I can get that, I'd appreciate it if you do it by mail or something like that. I would much appreciate it. And finally, I just wanted to thank the board. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve everybody. You're all good people, and I really appreciate it. No one realizes how much work, commitment, dedication you guys put in, and I do. So that's all I say. Thank you. Love you.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Mike. Close out the public record portion of the agenda. General comments and questions from the board related to the school district.
I never know where to say anything, so
Just go.
All right, I'm just gonna. So every month we get these student transfer reports.
Yes.
And, I mean, it's impossible to try to keep track, but we're trying, I know that we're focusing really hard on equity, and I see in the other report that things are pretty even. When people enter mid-year, do we still try and do the equitable, okay, one goes here, one goes here, one goes here?
So I will, to be perfectly honest, the way we do it is it depends on the number of kids that are in the class. So
Right.
if there are 19 kids and you get 2 kids in one building, we're not necessarily going to split them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if one school's at 21 and one's at 19, but I can tell you as an example, our first grade across the district is pretty much, we're pretty high in all levels.
Yes.
Jefferson is the only, they're the lowest, and they're not, believe me, they're not low by any means, but they have the fewest of the kids in first grade. So anybody who registered for first grade has to go to Jefferson right now. So we are kind of capping it,
Okay.
but I just want to be honest, we're not, you know, listen, if we're at 19 or 20 and we get 1 or 2 in a school,
We're just
not necessarily
cognizant,
going to
that's
split
all,
them.
that's all
We
that.
absolutely are
Okay.
being cognizant.
Because I see just in the month of January, we had 3 third graders enter here.
Mhm.
You know, like those little bubbles sometimes can really start to throw off the numbers, but as long as we're aware and that we're.
Absolutely, the principals are, they contact me
Okay.
and they'll say, hey, I got these 2 kids, we look at the numbers, say, I can take them, keep them.
Right.
Because maybe Washington in third grade is a little higher than you, so you keep them, and it pretty much balances itself out.
I think just that awareness has gone so far, because the numbers look way better now than they have ever looked. So I just wanted to ask.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Anybody understand anything?
I'd like to congratulate Ava as well. You're going to do a great job there, and I'm looking forward to seeing the play. And I'd like to just, extend my thank you to Mr. Sciarra. Mike, we ran together when we first decided to come on board. And, although we're going to miss you here, we know you're going to be a big asset on the other side of the fence, and the community is going to benefit from it. So congratulations, good luck over there. Thank you.
What was that? New business? Any old business? Anybody? No business? No? Just want to piggyback on Mr. Sciarra, newly appointed councilman. It's kind of weird seeing you on that side of the
It feels weird for me
table.
too.
So, congratulations. As a reminder to the public, we are taking applications at this point, letters of intent. We're taking them up to, I believe, February 22nd.
It's 20, I think it's 20, I can give you the exact date. 1 second. It's 21st, Friday the 21st is the deadline.
That individual will have big shoes to fill. Mr. Sciarra was an incredible asset here, and just like everybody else has stated up to this point, he definitely will be an asset at the council level. So best of luck to him. Thank you everybody for everybody else that came out, and once again, thank you for the Rough Riders for your one presentation, the mug, the poster, and just making this be our home. Private session be resolved that the Hawthorne Board of Education convenes an executive session to discuss matters pertaining to for the result that is anticipated that the executive session will be for 45 minutes in duration and that public action may or may not be taken. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Turco?
Yes.
Mr. Corino?
Yes.
Ms. Dodd?
Yes.
Mr. Palooz?
Yes.
Mr. Eicher?
Yes.
Ms. Sanford?
Yes.
Mr. Tara?
Yes.
Mr. Doyle?